guys, my name is JessiMew, and welcome back to the Tribe of the Tides, where in the last episode, not only were we surprised by the arrival of some very unexpected guild creatures, but we also witnessed the birth of what might be our very first king of the island. So this is the first time that JessiMew has kind of reincarnated herself in the form of a male, and the question was whether or not we were going to keep his name, Dukvan, or if we were going to give him more of a personal tie to JessiMew herself by changing his name. And you guys really seem to like the idea of naming him Dukememe, so it'll kind of keep that name in a way that his parents gave him, but it'll also give him a much more, I guess, physical tie to the goddess herself, so that we'll know that he is the king of this island, and he's also hopefully going to be the one who takes us over to the next island too. That's kind of like the next order of business, because at the moment we have basically conquered this entire island. We just have a couple spots of darkness to watch after, and of course these couple of like straggling pieces of grass that we might need to explore with our little exploring pair down here, our new exploring pair. They're both siblings and they are very, very brave. We're hoping that we're going to take Syrah to the new island actually, because she's one of our creatures with perfect genetics. She has normal eyes, she has the normal blood clotting as well, and of course she is a beast. She has her double claws and her ram horn, so she would be a very good candidate to take just to keep us safe. She is a little bit older than many of the other creatures that I'm hoping to take with us, but we're in this situation where so many of our creatures are so early on in their life, like Splish over here. He of course is just a teenager right now, so he would be a good one to take. We have, let's see, of course our newest guild creature back here, Anala, who many of you wanted to see named Coral, so I think we'll go ahead and do that. So Anala, like one of the things that confuses me the most about this entire situation is that both Coral and Splish somehow managed to inherit the gills over the big nose. The big nose is actually in their genetics, hidden away in the recessive slot, and I have no idea how that happened, especially considering all of the trouble we had just trying to get the gills to pass off of Splash the First. It seemed like the big nose always took priority over the gills. So I'm really not sure how this happened, but I'm not going to complain because this means that we could take Coral and Splish with us, and they could probably officially start a little line of guild creatures on their own. At the very least, it should be a lot easier for them to pass the gills off to their children, but before we leave, we absolutely have to get some creatures with the nimble fingers, so that's going to take priority right now as we continue gathering up all of the food that we need, and as we start to move our creatures over to the ports over here, we're going to see if maybe Twilight can have a nimble-fingered creature, or even Crystal. I was thinking that maybe we could put the nimble fingers in Crystal's mutation menu as well when she has her next baby, and we'll see if we can possibly just get that to happen before we leave, because I absolutely refuse to leave without those nimble fingers. At the moment, we only have a couple of creatures left with them, and they are very, very close to the ends of their lives, so it wouldn't really be worth it to take them with us. So we'll just see if we can possibly get a baby before this day is over. But for now, we should probably start moving the ones that we want to actually take with us. We'll have to make sure that they're at least in the area. Syrah is definitely going to be one of them, so we'll have her start moving away, and she's actually going to have to say goodbye to her brother, who is almost a twin, in fact. They look very, very similar. So she's going to have to part ways with her brother, who she has explored with for all of her life, and she'll start going this way to make her way toward these ports. And I guess for you, you could come over here and finish off the job that you and your sister started. You can peek in all of this grass for us, and maybe you could even pick up some of these berry bushes. We do want Flame to start having his next children though, because it's very important that we try to get those nimble fingers. So he was having children with Twilight, I believe, and then his brother back here, Ember, was having children with Crystal. So since this nest is open right now, we might as well go ahead with these guys instead. What we'll do is we'll swap this around a little bit. We'll place the Cracker Jaw in place of the normal blood clotting, and we'll keep the nimble fingers in there. It's not exactly the ideal mutation menu for these guys, because of course we have the no paw situation with Crystal, and we also have the short-sighted eyes situation with her as well, so there is a possibility that their baby could inherit the short-sighted eyes instead, but we'll cross our fingers and hope for the best at this point. We'll actually have Ember come up here and breed with her. He is so close to the end of his life too, so this is actually going to be their last baby, I guess, unless we can shuffle them around really quickly, or for that matter, she could breed with him before he passes away and then have the baby on the next turn. We should probably do that instead, so we'll have her come over here. Oh my gosh, oh my gosh, fail upon fail. Wow, okay Ember, I did not want you to sit in the nest. Well, hopefully we can move her over this way. There we go. Luckily, with just enough turns, we can move her over here. Like, what on earth are you doing stealing this nest on us? You have 2 days left. I know you're probably very, very tired, but you should really allow your mate to use the nest instead. Okay, so she's going to use this nest for now, and that means that she can still hopefully use this one in the next turn. I mean, my goodness, Ember. We can at least pick the berries over here, though. We'll have Duke Tata pick up these as much as he possibly can. Ivy, unfortunately, can't pick any berries herself, though I do want to take her to the next island simply because she has immunity gene I, and we're getting in that like red zone at the moment where a lot of our creatures have, I believe it's H and F right now. So as long as we can find those creatures who have those special genes and bring them with us, then we should hopefully not have to deal with very, very sick lines anytime soon. But for now, Flame, I guess you can go ahead and pick the berries. He does have a little bit more left of his life than his brother does, so he should be okay. He should be able to have a couple more babies, in fact, before he passes away. And I think I am actually going to have to abandon my idea of breeding Splash the Second and Anamiko, because I am a little bit worried about that spiky body. He does have hemophilia, so that might actually be the end of him if he does get wounded. I'm not 100% sure if they can get technically wounded by just breeding with someone with a spiky body, but I'm not sure if we want to find out either, because I'm hoping that we can leave him behind on this island so that he can lead the ones that stay with him, because honestly, this is his home. He is the reincarnation of our little Splash the First, so this is definitely his home, and he would probably be most suited to us staying down here. I guess, Splish, for now, we could bring you in here and see if we could find any fish. I mean, it's very quiet down here. Oh my gosh. Is that just because our poor little Splash passed away? Like, all of his fishy friends have just completely disappeared. Now, we definitely want to start moving Duke Meme over here as well. So he'll start going this way. He's a little bit slower than the rest of his pack mates, of course, because of those 2 double claws. Thankfully, he doesn't have the large body, so he doesn't have to worry about losing any more speed with that, but he is definitely slower than the rest. And then we should bring Ivy a little bit closer to these guys too, since she's going to be moving with us, as well as Dawn. I thought Dawn would be a good idea because she also has those perfect genetics, which is very, very important considering that we're also going to have to deal with the wandering males again on the next island. So let's just take a quick peek in these. Oh my gosh, in the tall grass right here, there's actually a berry bush. And I saw a little bunny too. That's quite interesting. So I wonder if we can snatch that one up before we leave. We'll have to see if we can. For now though, we'll move Twilight right here so that her baby can at least grow in the next turn. We're also going to have to worry about that bird in our skies again when we get to the next island, so that's a little bit worrying. We haven't had to do that in a very, very long time, so I hope I remember to at least guard our babies. And there's some of our fish. Okay, so they're way over here. I mean, we did want to take Splish with us anyway, so he should probably be on this side of the island as it is. We'll have Ronoduke at least pick up the shells for now. Let's see, there's no more down here, unfortunately. But yeah, I think the fish actually spawn from the little kelp patch right here, the little seaweed. So we'll have to keep our eyes out for that, especially once we move islands. And then I think we're just down to a couple more of our creatures here. We'll have Quartz pick up his acorns, of course. He could pick from the berry bush too. And then Bolt. Bolt was another one that I wanted to take simply because he has immunity gene B. He managed to inherit that from his mother, so he is quite important too. And that's kind of funny actually. Bolt has B and Ivy has I believe. Isn't that right? Yeah, it is. I did not intend for that to happen, but that's actually a nice way for us to remember who's who. But we'll move Bolt a little bit closer to the ports as well, so that he can take a trip with us. And otherwise, I think we might be good as far as berries go. Let's see if this is a good luck baby. Maybe it'll have the Cracker Jaw. That would be excellent. No Cracker Jaw, unfortunately, but oh my goodness. You look almost exactly like your uncle. But unfortunately, he did not manage to grab the nimble fingers out of the mutation menu. He did inherit the claw, so that is expected. And he does have the Cracker Jaw in his genetics. I don't think he's going to be one of the ones that we take with us unless we really can't find a better solution. But hello, little bunny. Hello, we need somebody to pounce on you. Let's see, how are we going to do this? Because we need somebody who can actually get there and somebody who can attack too. Quartz can actually attack. He can actually attack, so he might be able to do that. We'll have him jump right here, snag the bunny, and pick up the meat for us. There we go. So a little bit different from your typical duty underneath this tree, but at least you managed to help us gather up some food. And now we need to swap you guys around, I think. We at least need to breed you with your mate after that very, very unexpected situation of you stealing our nest. So let's have Crystal come over here, and then he can sit right here and breed with her. That way we'll at least have his next baby ready, even though he's going to pass away on this turn. And then we'll have you guys start breeding too. We'll have Twilight breed with Flame again, since he only has 5 days left of his life. We do want to change the mutation menu a little bit because we certainly don't want to see the cracker jaw on these guys. And in fact, I think we want to put the normal blood clotting in for them instead because Twilight does have the hemophilia, and that's not really a good thing to bring with us to the new island either. So we'll put the normal blood clotting in there in the 10% slot, and then we'll have him move right over here, breed with her, and then she can sit in the nest after Coral moves right out of it. There we go. So cross your fingers that this one finally has the nimble fingers, because that's the only thing that I'm waiting for. But I suppose we could have Syrah move this way. She can peek in here for us, and then she could officially sit on one of these little ports. So she is ready. She is officially the first creature ready to move to the next island. We'll have Dawn at least gather up these little berries, and I don't see that bunny again, so it must have scooted off along the shore somewhere. And now I believe we want to have Splish start making his way over to the other side of the island where the fish are much more plentiful. So hopefully in a couple of turns he can make his way over here and see if we can just snag up a couple of fish before we leave. Okay, so Duke Meme, we want you to make your way a little bit closer to the ports as well. And we want Ivy to come with us. Even though she can't collect, we do want her to come with us for those genes. We want Bolt to come with us too. Look at that. He has a much wider span than most of the other creatures right now. So he should be good for, oh my goodness, he should be really good for scouting. Okay, Bolt, that kind of makes sense too because of his name. I believe he would have all orange gems, right? Yeah, I think that's right, because of course he would be the grandson of Speck. So we'll have him move right next to Syrah for now. He can sit right there so that he's nice and ready. And this is going to be the very last turn for Ember too, of course. But he can rest easy knowing that he's going to have one more child born on this island. And I think that is officially it. So let's hope that this one finally manages to inherit the nimble fingers from its father. Let's see. Hopefully, no, not again, that claw. That claw is so much more dominant than the nimble fingers. Okay, so this is a little bit worrying because I did not want to leave islands without, having the nimble fingers with us. And unfortunately, our nimble-fingered creatures are just way too old to actually take with us to the new island. So this is not good, guys. This is not good. We do need to move Quartz back to his tree so that his sister can sit in the nest. And I guess we're going to have to breed these guys again. Like, I don't want to wait too long. That's the thing, because of course Syrah is a little bit older than most of the other creatures that we're taking with us. And I don't want her to be too old so that she'll just pass away as soon as we get there, because that would certainly not help us. We'd have to find a different creature to take with us if that was the case. I guess Dawn for now, why don't we sit you right here so that you can still pick from the berry bush, because somebody needs to pick from this one. And now Splish is almost fully grown too. I mean, technically, if we wait long enough, then Coral could possibly have a baby with Splash the second before she leaves. So if it takes us that long to get those nimble fingers, then at least we have a little bit of a backup plan. But let's change Ivy's last gem over as we bring her over to the ports as well. She's getting very close, so she should be the next one to probably sit on these little ports. She could actually sit right here for us, and then we'll have, let's see, Ronadu, can you find any of those shells again? It looks like the shells are getting very scarce on this side of the island, which is a little bit unfortunate. I know we had a bunch of them over here where Splish was, so maybe they'll have to kind of like swap places to get more food. Can we possibly swap them over to this nest? I think we can, because Twilight can actually move pretty far. So we'll have her sit right here, we'll have him come over here and breed with her, and then if we move this little baby, then she can actually sit right in this nest. Oh my goodness, I almost forgot. You have your very last gem, Duke Meme, so you can officially take on the role of the king of the island, or the Duke of Memes maybe. I guess that's technically what it would be. So we'll start moving him a little bit closer too. He can scoot through all of these. Oh my gosh, there's another berry bush here. How did we miss this? Like, I was so sure there was going to be nothing over here. These two little straggling pieces of grass, and there's actually two berry bushes here. But that's about all that we can do on this turn, so let's go ahead and see these final couple of babies, I guess, and just cross your fingers that one of them has the nimble fingers. Let's see, we'll watch them both at the same time. Do either of them have the nimble fingers? This one might. Yes, finally! Finally, we have the nimble fingers on a little spit snout creature with hemophilia too. Oh my goodness, that is not exactly the best situation. And look at this one too. Oh my gosh, he is adorable. He is absolutely adorable. He has B as well. B and A actually, so he might actually be one of the last creatures that we take. I mean, we should have 2 final slots open, so he might be a good candidate because he does also have that cracker jaw too. So we might take Tavan here. We'll find a good name for him, and we'll also find a good name for, finally, our nimble-fingered creature. So he is definitely going to have to breed quite a bit on this new island if he's going to be the only nimble-fingered creature that we take. So for his name, I think we'll go ahead and call him Eclipse, to kind of go along with his mother's naming theme. She seems to be themed more around like the sky, I guess. Her name is Twilight, her daughter's name is Dawn, and then we'll have Eclipse going with them too. And then for this little baby, I think we'll name him Jasper, of course, to go along with all of those gem themed names that we're giving this line. So there we go. I think we have officially picked all 9 of the creatures that we're going to move to the next island. So let's start moving you guys over, I guess. Coral, we'll leave you right there for now. She has 3 days left until she grows up, which is a little bit unfortunate. I'm not sure if we should really push the 3 days to wait for her to breed. Wait a second. Oh my gosh, I almost missed this. There is actually a carnivore just breathing down Tanu's neck right now. Like, we can't leave this situation undealt with as we're moving islands. Bloom, you should probably come over here and like protect him a little bit. If we have Ducknu come over here and light up the way for you at least, then you can scoot right over here and slap this guy for us. Tanu can slap him too, and he is so close to the end of his life. Oh my gosh, that is a little bit unfortunate that he is so close. And most of these other creatures are just too far away. Anamiko can't move that fast on land because she has those webbed feet, and Thorn only has 2 turns himself because he's too young. So oh my goodness, we're going to have to let this carnivore just slap Tanu, most likely. I mean, we have had situations where the carnivores have been nice enough to leave us alone after they initially come out and spook us, so we'll just have to keep an eye on that. We should probably have at least Splash the Second come over to the side of the island before they leave, just in case there's time for him to have like one more baby. And there was that little bunny. There was that bunny. He kind of hopped back into the darkness. I wonder if we should maybe just slice down these berry bushes with Duke-Meme. Maybe we could have Dawn pick these berries for us, and then he could come over here and slice it, just for those extra berries. That might be a good idea. Unfortunately, Ivy can't do that, so we'll just sit her right here, and there is that bunny. Duke-Meme, why don't you hop over here and slice him for us? There we go, so we can at least pick up that meat before we leave. And then Coral, you can stay right there for now because we do want you to hunt for fish in a moment. We could have you kind of like scoot off into the water too. We'll see if we can find any little fish. Aha, there's all of those fish swarms. So let's have Coral move right here. And maybe she could snag a fish in the next turn. We'll have to see. We'll leave her with that 1 extra turn sitting on her, and we'll see if maybe she can snag one of those fish right before we leave, just so we can see how it works, I guess, because this is our first time actually fishing. Let's have Ronudu continue trying to find some shells. We are going to steer clear of the hard mode island, though. We are not going to have him sit with all of those skeletons, just in case. I don't want to accidentally hit the wrong button. And Coral, why don't you dive in here so you're a little bit closer to the fish? And then we'll go ahead and skip the turn, but watch this carnivore to make sure that he doesn't destroy anyone. Let's see. Oh my gosh. Oh no, Tanu, you're wounded. Thankfully, he doesn't have hemophilia, but this is our first experience with the wounding as well. So that's kind of good that we're getting it out of the way right now. And oh my gosh, Bloom, he almost killed you. He almost completely killed you. I mean, at least it's raining, so that was a little bit lucky. But yeah, he is wounded now, so somebody needs to come over here and actually lick his wounds. Otherwise, he's going to bleed as every turn passes. So let's have Tanu knock this carnivore out for us, and then we'll have Duke-Nu come down here and lick his wounds. And now his wounds are gone, so he won't be bleeding after every single turn. But that's why the hemophilia is something that we really need to keep an eye on, because they'll bleed even more if they have both of those hemophilia genes in their genetics. So we'll have you start moving your way over to everyone else, I suppose. It is going to take a little bit longer for the babies to move over there because they only have 1 turn apiece. So we might be in the situation where Coral actually has enough time to grow up and possibly continue on the line of Splash the Second by having a baby with him right before they leave. For now, we'll have Coral jump in here. I don't think she's actually fast enough to catch the fish herself, so we're going to have Splish come around this way, and there we go, chase some of the fish up there. So is this the fishing icon? I think this might be. Let's see if it works. Yeah, I think it did. They managed to collect 1 piece of food from that, and it looks like the fish, kind of survived too. Like, maybe it's because her fishing skill is so low. She only has +1 because she only has the claw. I think that might be it though. We just have Ronuduke over here who can continue attempting to find more shells. There's a couple, finally, there we go. So in the next turn you can pick up that one. And let's go ahead and skip the turn, I suppose. We'll go ahead and skip and make sure that nothing else jumps out. Oh my gosh, so many of them passed away. I mean, I guess technically that's a good thing for us because we are trying to move islands, so that's less mouths to feed. Now, how many more days days did Coral have on her life? Let's see. She has one more day before she grows up, so I think officially we can have her have one baby with Splash the Second before they move islands. We'll have them breed, and then she can have her baby on the island itself. And for now, we'll move you guys out of the water so that you can sit on the tiles as well. So this is almost it. This is almost it. I think if we have him cut down the berry bush now, then he can start making his way over to these tiles, because he is going to need a couple extra turns to do so. He is quite slow. And then we can have Crystal pick up her acorns. We can have her brother do the same. And look at that, we are so close to 300. It would be excellent if we could go to the new island with 300. So let's go ahead and pass the day, and then we'll have little Coral breed with Splash the Second right before they leave. We'll move her up to this tile right here, I think, unless that's going to block Duke Me. No, he can go around these guys, so he'll sit right there. We'll have Dawn scoot up this way. And let's see, maybe we should actually have Syrah breed with Quartz right before they leave too. That might be a good idea because she is getting very old. She's getting very old, so that might be a good thing to do. Yeah, we'll go ahead and do that if they can make it there in enough turns. We'll have Quartz go up this way. Actually, he can sit right next to her. Oh my gosh, and then she can breed with him just so we can carry on his genetics too, because I don't think he's had a baby yet. We'll have the babies start moving too. We'll change Jasper's second gem over, and then he can actually sit like right up this way, I think. And then you can sit right over next to Jasper. So these guys are like good little buddies too, as they're moving to the next island, which is kind of fitting because they do look so similar even though they're from separate families. So the very last move that we need to make, guys, is just to move Coral straight over here and have her breed with Splash the Second. Okay, so Splash the Second is officially going to have his genes pass over to the next island, and that also means that most of our females are actually safe from the wandering males for now, at least for now. But now all we have left to do is chop down some of these berry bushes, and then we can officially move islands. And of course, we'll also have Ronu Duke pick up all of the shells that he possibly can while he's still able to. There we go. So one last final shell, and he can rest easy knowing that there is another shell for him to pick up in the next turn once we do leave. And I think we might be just about out of turns at this point. That's all of the food that we can collect aside from this very last acorn. So there we go, guys. We have officially collected everything that we possibly can right now with all of the creatures, and this is the state of our family. So if we move Splash the Second a little bit closer to the mainland so that he can stay here and he can lead the rest of the pack, all of the surviving members of this pack on for however long they have left, and we'll focus instead on this family right here as they move islands. So Duke Meme, you can actually do the honors, I suppose. We'll go ahead and move islands today, and we'll at least see what our brand new island is going to be like. I'm always a little bit nervous when we do this because there's no guarantee that we're going to find a place as plentiful as this current island. I mean, we had a ton of berry bushes all over this place, so we were able to support a very high population. But we have so many new dangers to look out for, we have so many new nuisances to look out for, that it is always a little bit worrying when we do eventually move islands. So let's have Duke Meme just go ahead and jump in, and I'll see you guys when we get there. Alright guys, here we are, we're on our new island, and I hate to say it, but it's a little bit of an unfortunate start. I mean, not only is poor Eclipse stuck completely inside this cactus, which is very, very uncomfortable looking, but we have spawned on the edge of what looks to be a desert, which means that we have these cactuses here, and we know what happens with the cactus. We know that they actually harm the creatures that pick from them, and it seems like our nearest grasslands is way up here. Oh my gosh, that is going to be a lot of exploring before we can even clear out this tree for us to use. Well, I'm glad that we brought creatures who are a little bit younger in their lifespans, just in case we do actually have to collect from these cactuses. And I'm glad that we brought 300 pieces of food too. But first and foremost, I guess we'll have Coral come over here and sit in the nest so that she can have her baby in the next turn. And let's just quickly swap around the mutation menu a little bit too. Of course, Splash the Second has the gills, so I feel like that's pretty much a safe bet, so we'll leave the gills out of it. But I think what I would like to do is place the fishing tail in here, and maybe the water body too. Maybe that would be a good idea so that we can hopefully refine the line of our swimmers straight away. And is there anything that we can do for poor Eclipse? I mean, maybe we could have Splish slice this cactus, but then he'll get hurt. That's the only thing. But I'm not really sure if he can move, and unfortunately he's out of turns. So we're not going to be able to tell until we actually pass the day. But let's have Syrah at least peek in some of this grass. We'll have you guys clear out all of these ports just so we don't lose our way. We'll have a Splish peek in here, and we certainly don't want to lose poor Eclipse in this big cactus, so we'll have him peek in that grass too. And then we have Bolt. I guess a bolt would be a pretty safe bet to have him start exploring. We'll have him move this way, and oh my goodness, there is one of these new critters already. There's our very first crabbit. So these guys are relatively harmless. They're not going to try to pinch us with those little pincers, but we can only attack them from behind. And I've noticed from previous islands that I've played on that they do kind of like to swarm our creatures, so we're just going to have to keep an eye on them, I guess. We can collect food from them too, so they aren't really that bad of a creature to have around. But there's our first berry bush too. That's good to see. That is very, very good luck. So we know that we at least have one normal berry bush right at the beginning of our island, and we'll have Splish move, I guess this way, just to keep an eye on all of this darkness over here. And then finally we have Dawn. I don't want to move her too close to the grass or the darkness just in case we have a wandering male, but if we move her right here, then what on earth is this? Is this a little tree stump? She could sit on it though. She could sit on it or she could look at it. I mean, what happens if she sits on it? Okay, so it lights up the area a little bit more for us? So it's like she's a little lookout. Oh, that's really cool. And it's right next to our berry bush too. So we could have somebody with our nimble fingers, who is unfortunately the one stuck inside the cactus right now. That is not good. That is really not good. Why are the nimble fingers such rotten luck on this island? So we could have him sit right next to the berry bush, and he could be our lookout once he does finally free himself from the cactus. But that is all of our turns officially used. So we'll see if maybe Coral's baby is going to be a very, very lucky baby. Hopefully it'll inherit some of those new genes, and hopefully nothing's going to come rushing out at us either. Oh, look how adorable you are! Oh my gosh, he doesn't have the gills though. Look at that. Again, like, the gills just baffle me. They confuse me so much. But at least he does have the antlers, so he is a little bit stronger than some of the other creatures in the pack right now. He has a 4 in strength, and we do have some rustling grass back there, so that might be a very, very good thing indeed. We probably don't want Dawn to move over there because she is a female, so let's have Bolt jump in here. Oh, it's just a bunny burrow. Excellent. So we do have at least another source of food in the immediate area for us to use. That is very, very good to see. So not exactly the luckiest start, I will admit, but we have so much to explore down here, including all of these little streams, all of these little rivers kind of winding through the place, a little pond over here too, and it looks like there might actually be some places for fish to spawn in here too. So we'll have to make our way up there eventually. We do have a very, very long way to go before we do so, and let's just make sure that we can actually move poor Eclipse. There we go. Poor Eclipse can move out of the way over here so that he can sit on top of this little stump in the next turn, and he'll be able to start using his nimble fingers, the one nimble fingers that we actually have on the island, to collect from the bushes. He is definitely going to have to take on many, many mates in his life though, just to hopefully pass along those nimble fingers himself. But we'll worry about all of that in the next episode. We have plenty more to explore on this island, and I hope you guys are just as excited as I am. So thank you all so much for watching today, and I'll see you all next time. Bye guys!